Hello and welcome into the Inside Nebraska YouTube channel. I am Greg Smith, Senior Recruiting Analyst here at Inside Nebraska, and I am joined for our February National Signing Day. It always trips me up with the two different signing days now. Continued coverage of that. I'm joined by Nebraska signee, linebacker out of Texas, Dylan Rogers. Dylan, thank you for jumping on tonight, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Hey, good, man. So I know it's a busy time for you, an exciting time as you kind of get prepared to come up here in Lincoln, and you sign during that early signing period. But I wanted to catch up with you to see how things are going. I guess first thing, I mean, how's off-season training been going for you?
Oh, everything's been going good. The workouts that Coach Campbell sent me, they're working. So I've been doing these past couple weeks.
Yeah, that was interesting. I'm glad you mentioned that because I was going to ask you because one of the things that people don't know that once guys sign, they're able to get kind of tailored workouts from the coaching staff. You can get the
Mm-hmm.
playbook, and I definitely want to get into that in a second too. But like,
Yeah.
how has it been kind of trying to make that adjustment on your own of doing those workouts? Like, are you going to a specific gym? Like, how has that setup been for you?
So the workouts that they sent me is kind of similar to what I've been doing like my whole high school career. So it was just nothing really different. Like the running's different, but like the stuff that we doing like in the weight room, it's not that different. But I've been doing it at school. So my strength and conditioning coach at school, he's been helping me like go through like all this stuff and making sure like I'm doing them right and so that's what I've been doing.
Got you. And I mentioned that playbook. Like, what have been kind of your early impressions of seeing the defense under Tony White?
Oh, they haven't sent me, so we haven't gotten the playbook yet, but I'm
Okay.
sure they're gonna send that soon as they get into the spring.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense then. So I guess one of the things too, and I mentioned up top that you had been kind of a long time commit. Like you had committed back in July, I think it was July 5th, kind of one
Mm-hmm.
of those OG commits. So I guess when the change
Yeah.
happened and kind of Matt Rule and those guys came down to Texas to visit you, I guess what were your initial impressions and how quickly did you guys hit it off?
So Coach Terrence Knight, he came to the house first. He talked with me and my family. So we really like Coach Knight. And he was like a great guy. And then I think like the next week, Coach Coach Rule and Coach Sat, they
Mhm.
came to my school, and then after that, we went over to my house. And that same day, that's when I was leaving for the official visit. So that was they're all great guys. Like me and my family, like we really liked them. Like we had like some deep conversations about like football and just family. So they're great guys.
And you mentioned family, and it's one of those you came up on a big visit weekend that you just mentioned. There was a lot of kids here
Yeah.
that a lot, I think almost all of them ended up, either staying with their commitments or if they were uncommitted that weekend, signing. So I guess what was that official visit weekend like, being with this new staff, and how much did that family atmosphere really play into you guys feeling comfortable?
It played in like a lot. Like they were showing like a lot of love, and they were having like great conversations. So they were like it's a great coaching side that Coach Rule has put together. So I'm looking forward to it when I get
Okay,
up
I
there.
got you. And I guess, one of the things too that's also been happening during this time, as they've been doing a lot of recruiting. And I don't know if you noticed, I'm sure you've noticed that Texas recruiting is definitely back, and Nebraska fans have taken notice of that. What have been your general thoughts on, kind of Matt Rule and the a bunch of the guys on the staff having so much Texas ties, and going after a lot of Texas guys?
Yeah, that's what they need to do. Like I said like in early in a different interview. I feel like Texas has some great athletes, like the best football in America. So, and they come. I'm glad that they're coming down to Texas and recruiting like a lot of kids in our area, in my area especially. Like
Mhm.
they've recruited like a lot of kids in the Houston area. So I'm glad that they're doing that. Like that they're finally doing that. The
Got
Texas
you.
stuff.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. And I guess, one of the things I like to always ask you guys, I'm sure I asked you this when you first committed back in July, is y'all, when you go on these official visits and stuff, they feed y'all a lot, right? Like you
Yeah,
get
they
all
do.
the food you can get, or all
Yeah.
you can eat. What was the best thing you ate while you were being recruited?
Uh, they have some good pizza in Nebraska. Like when we first got there, I think they had like some pizza and some wings. That was pretty good. But when I went up there this past December, we went to like a little restaurant with burgers and fries. That was pretty good. And then we had like some breakfast like at the Huddle place. That was super
Okay.
good too.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's a nice building down there. A nice, like,
Yeah, it
have
is.
that's the Husker connection there. All right, man. I guess a couple more for you. I guess what was if you had to pick kind of a top or a couple of top reasons why you ended up picking Nebraska and that was the place for you to call home for the next handful of years, what would it be?
The culture there is like super strong. Like there's a like when I walk around sometimes when I go places, it's like people that come up to me, they're like Nebraska's like the best place ever. Like in Texas, it's a lot of Nebraska people. Like I didn't even know that. I was at a place and then some people that just came up to me talking about like they went to Nebraska and stuff. That it's the culture, the football, of course, and then it's like a great place like to get your education. Like Nebraska is well known, so that was one of the reasons why. And his family
Gotcha.
like oriented too, like it's like a family like environment up there at Nebraska. So
Got you. And hey, man, Dylan, again, I definitely appreciate you taking the time out, man. Good luck finishing up high school and getting those workouts in, and we'll see you up here soon.
thank you for having me.